Time now for Homeschooled with Sal Licata. All right, Sal, the Mets have scratched catcher and general manager off their to-do list. If you can only sign one of these players, who's a higher priority in your eyes, George Springer or Trevor Bauer?
Not even close. It's George Springer. I mean, the Mets offseason, to me, hinges on George Springer. How many times, Eamon, over the years have we been talking about the Mets needing a center fielder? They haven't had one since they traded Carlos Beltran, or really since Beltran had to be moved from center field to the corner. So they need a legit center fielder, a guy who can play defense. You look at George Springer, obviously he can do that. He's a legit center fielder, and he's more than just that, as he's a great, proven offensive player in the postseason, in the big moments. He's from here. He's the perfect fit. And you look at the drop-off from Springer, what the Mets would do in center field if they don't get him, it's not even close to what it would be if they did. So they can fill in that starting rotation. They have some depth there. Their offseason, to me, hinges on them being able to bring in George Springer.
But, Sal, there's also a huge drop-off from Jacob deGrom and the rest of that rotation. I understand there's a belief Marcus Stroman can rediscover the way he pitched in Toronto, but right now, as constituted, there's a huge drop-off in that rotation. So you're okay if they go out and get, say, Liam Hendriks for the bullpen and Jake Odorizzi to fill out that staff? That's a good enough staff for you and the Mets?
Yeah, because they have an ace. If they didn't have an ace, it'd be different.
Then I'd be saying, okay, they haven't had anything behind him. He's been the best pitcher in baseball for 3 years.
I understand it, but they haven't had a good team. So you don't need – look, we've seen it before. You don't need Trevor Bauer when you have Jacob deGrom. One of those guys is fine if you build a good enough team around them. And it's not like they don't have anybody in that rotation. They do have the possibility of Syndergaard coming back. They do have Marcus Stroman, a guy who I think is going to be a legit number 2. They could go out there and add depth pieces to the rest of that rotation. Who knows what Seth Lugo is going to happen. But it's not like they don't have anybody there that they need another arm. I personally believe they need a center fielder much more than they do another ace to go alongside Jacob deGrom.
And, Sal, the way this market's moving, I'm going to have to come up with a new way to ask you that question later on this week. Thanks for joining us here for Geico Sports Night.
All right, Eamon.